Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel BNB Daily Spoiler. A deadly twist, Deacon may sacrifice himself to save Taylor from Sheila's bullet.
Will Deacon take Sheila's bullet intended for Taylor? The bold and the beautiful spoilers make us wonder if Deacon Sharp will take shooter Sheila Sharp's bullet intended for Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig. Ridge Forrester seems to get through to Taylor on the February 9th episode. But how long will it last? Taylor knows she needs to let go of Deacon, but that doesn't guarantee she'll be able to follow through. Deacon and Taylor may try to suppress their emotions for a while, but it will only make their desire stronger. Taylor and Deacon's love for each other could explode into passion sooner or later, providing more opportunity to get caught. Regardless, the story is not over yet. Sheila will inevitably discover how Deacon and Taylor genuinely feel, which will set off the next vengeful phase of this. Sheila has made it apparent that she would not tolerate anyone meddling with her marriage. Thus, Taylor is bound to become her target. It's just a matter of how Sheila will pursue Taylor once the secret is revealed. Sheila playfully threatened to kill Deke Sharp if he stood in the way of her relationship with Deacon, but Deke didn't find it humorous given her background. Perhaps Deke is right to be concerned about Sheila's evil instincts resurfacing. When Sheila knows Taylor has stolen Deacon's heart, you can bet she will pursue Taylor with everything she has. Could this mess lead to BNB replicating a previous shooter incident? John Finnegan famously took a bullet to save Steffi Forrester Finnegan from Sheila. Perhaps Deacon can do the same for Taylor. Of course, Sheila eventually killed Finn and Steffi, so Taylor may die alongside Deacon. Whatever the situation, we can easily imagine Deacon attempting to play hero for Taylor if Sheila's revenge plot becomes out of control. According to the bold and the beautiful teasers, Sheila will exhibit some wild behavior once she learns of Deacon and Taylor's similar affections, so stay tuned. Spoilers for the bold and the beautiful. Sheila steals Il Giardino after a messy divorce drama. Deacon Sharp arrives at Il Giardino early to prepare for the morning crowd and discovers a small, official mail from his estranged husband on the counter. It's a divorce file with an unexpected tone and surgical timing. Sheila's lawyer has quietly served papers, alleging irreconcilable differences and a litany of grievances that reads more like a depressing inventory than a plea for reconciliation. The filing is the tiniest shock. The real sting comes from the domino effect, which includes a hidden clause in the filing and a second document given to the restaurant owner. Someone has appended a lien notice for an alleged unpaid vendor contract linked to Il Giardino's expansion plans. Deacon is stunned. The expansion financing is legal, the vendors have been paid, and the paperwork appears to be incorrect. He contacts his attorney. The terror is immediate. If the lien is enforced or the bank is pressured, Deacon may lose control of the restaurant he has put his heart and soul into. The episode concludes with Deacon contacting Ridge, voice raw. They're coming for the restaurant. This is the setup shared in recent spoiler speculation. Insiders have been hinting that Sheila may become involved with Il Giardino as the divorce progresses. Whispered claims, old grudges, and a suspicious paper trail. As Deacon scrambles to complete the paperwork, Steffi and Ridge, who have a past with both Sheila and Deacon, enter the conflict in separate ways. Ridge offers to quietly pull strings with bank contacts. Steffi advises Deacon to seek secure counsel and considers locking up the books. However, there is a sour undertone. Numerous board members and clients suddenly note that they have heard stories concerning Il Giardino's financial situation. Gossip spreads quickly in Los Angeles. Meanwhile, Sheila, heartbroken and enraged about the divorce, presents a public facade of sadness. She meets with pals at Il Giardino, sobs a little, and requests privacy. Privately, however, she is operating with her teeth bared. A flashback montage exposes the practical efforts she's taken in the last few months, including befriending an accountant, gaining secret access to an old vendor list, and making a few tiny cash transfers that appear to be personal gifts. Her motivation is simple and beautifully human. The restaurant is her connection to a softer life. Losing it would signal the end of any ordinary stability she may have. That same night, a mysterious vendor claim arrives at Deacon's office. A company that Deacon's bank records as previously paid has refiled for unpaid services, citing a misapplied payment. The vendor contact name is strange, pointing suspiciously to a recently created shell firm. The audience understands what Deacon does not. Someone is attempting to turn a nasty divorce into financial leverage. The first blow had a temporary restraining effect. Legal turmoil intensifies. The lawyer representing the unnamed vendor submits a request that temporarily hampers Deacon's ability to refinance the restaurant's mortgage. This brings the fight into the courtroom and into public view. Deacon's character is put to the test on screen. Generous, proud, and now suddenly weak. He spends scenes in the kitchen scrubbing tables with shaky hands, the type of dramatic, domestic moment used in soap operas when a livelihood is at stake. Meanwhile, Sheila portrays the heartbroken spouse with agonizing sincerity. She posts an emotional video titled, "I Just Want to Be Safe," that garners compassion and diverts focus away from the procedural saga. Fans online discuss whether Sheila would resort to legal deception. In the show, the uncertainty works to her advantage. Viewers are left guessing if Sheila is arranging the attacks or if she is the wounded woman being exploited by someone else. The writers leave just enough intrigue to send the audience over the brink. At the end of the episode, Deacon receives a brief email with the subject line, "Consider this your warning." The signature is anonymous, but the ghost of Sheila's handwriting, a looped capital S in an old note, flashes for viewers, implying a grim possibility. Soap rumors suggest that Sheila may gain control of Il Giardino as Deacon's divorce becomes more contentious. Deacon's desperation and a deal that smells off. Pressure causes action. Deacon discovers a potential buyer/investor, a tiny hospitality group eager to preserve Il Giardino as a neighborhood gem. The investor offers a bridging loan to save the mortgage, but requests a 3-month management stake while the legal issues are resolved. Deacon says it's painful, but feels like survival. Ridge is wary of this negotiation and insists on vetting every angle. At the same time, Sheila begins to plant seeds with the investor, having casual, compassionate chats about how awful Deacon's situation is and how the community deserves a better type of management. She demonstrates compassion and practical knowledge of restaurant life, quietly persuading the investor that the right outcome is to remove Deacon from ownership and transfer the place to a new, stabilizing figure, read Sheila. When Deacon goes to sign the bridge loan, a new twist occurs. The lender's agent hands him a clause allowing the lender to transfer management rights in the event of operational instability, terminology that is broader than Deacon anticipated. He signed under duress. The camera focuses on his handshake and the slip of paper tucked into his pocket, a man signing away more than just money. That night, a shadowy figure, Sheila, an agent? He grins as a message appears. Ownership transfer is pending review. The gears start to turn. Public humiliation, private bargains. Word spreads. A gossip website publishes an article indicating that Deacon is risking Il Giardino to cover legal fees. The local press pounces, business partners back off, and a key supplier halts shipments until more secure arrangements are established. Deacon becomes a small-town outcast in LA's echo chamber. He argues with his head chef in the kitchen and reaches a new low. Deacon ranting at an empty dining room for betraying him, which makes for brutal television. Sheila, on the other hand, makes a poignant public appeal, sitting down with Hope at Il Giardino and pleading with the town not to desert her, stating that she is simply trying to keep her family together. Hope is sympathetic yet skeptical. The scenario is intended to cause viewers' emotions to conflict, the true trick of Sheila's persona. Hope offers to organize a benefit if required, but a stranger with a nervous giggle hands Sheila a card that says, "I can help," for a price. Sheila stares at it, and the mask falters for a beat. She's tempted by the rescue, which would give her leverage to defend the restaurant, even if it means taking possession. Meanwhile, Deacon confronts the lender and is told unequivocally that the bank's legal counsel has ruled that the management clause can be triggered while the lien is being contested. He pleads for extra time. The lender, tired of the soapbox demands, asks one realistic question: where is the deposit? Deacon's response: it's the last of my savings, hangs like an admission of defeat. A heist of paperwork. Sheila makes her move. This is the episode that the title suggests. Sheila steals I.L. Giardino. The heist is not cinematic burglary. It is bureaucracy and charm, which is why it works so well. Sheila organizes a community stakeholders meeting at I.L. Giardino, billed as a reconciliation meal when people discuss the restaurant's cultural significance. She invites key participants, including the lender's representative, a few board members, a minor city official, and a well-known restaurateur who has quietly advocated for a steak. Over wine and carefully choreographed nostalgia, Sheila delivers a speech on second chances and the restaurant's place in the community, all while a delicate legal maneuver takes place offstage. Unbeknownst to Deacon, Sheila's associate, the same I Can Help contact, has secretly filed a counterclaim, which is connected to the vendor's paperwork and registers a lien release and transfers management control to a temporary conservator while ownership lawsuit is resolved. The conservator? The restaurateur at Sheila's dinner co-owns a boutique food management organization. The paperwork corresponds to the bank's requirement for operational stability. The legal language is clear. It is technological. It's also devastating. When Deacon reads the conservator notice the next morning, it comes with a pleasant, efficient letter. We will manage operations to ensure continuity of service. He bursts into the restaurant, where conservator-appointed manager is adjusting staff schedules. The reality hits hard. Deacon's name remains on the door, but management has been removed, and the conservator reports to a board on which Sheila's allies have sway. By the end of the day, Deacon has effectively relinquished control of I.L. Giardino. The camera focuses on his face when he sees the larceny was done with legal ink and social elegance. Note: several spoiler outlets have claimed that Sheila could exploit the divorce turmoil to seize control of the business or utilize the chaos to her advantage. This episode emphasizes that possibility. The fallout: friends, furies, and Forrester intervention. The conservatorship is becoming more well-known. The Forrester and Spencer alliances realign nearly instantly. Ridge holds an emergency meeting and fumes. Steffi wants to sue to stop the transfer and temporarily take over administration. Bill, a constant force in soap politics, smells opportunity and offers Deacon a bridge expansion plan. Buy him out immediately and give him a small stake in a new pizza distribution operation. Deacon is proud and defiant, refusing to be bought out. Taylor, who has been juggling professional conflicts of her own, arrives at I.L. Giardino to find a table full of familiar figures disputing policy. Taylor approaches the conservator, and their conversation is electric. Taylor demands paperwork, information, and accountability. The conservator responds calmly, stating that Clause X, Section Y permits the activity. Taylor takes a photo of the documentation. She is not simply outraged. She is mobilizing. Sheila, who has every right to celebrate privately, becomes unexpectedly wounded when Deacon publicly accuses her of betrayal in front of the restaurant personnel. She responds with a hushed, almost imploring line: "I wanted to protect us." The sequence invites viewers to judge if Sheila's methods were monstrous or if she was playing a survival hand. Personal alliances inevitably splinter. The Forrester family argument draws lines. Some support Deacon, while others believe a legal battle would destroy both him and the business. Legal storm and a mobilized community. The conflict takes on a legal and civic dimension. Taylor plans a town hall-style fundraiser to demonstrate the restaurant's community worth and prevent the conservator from making permanent decisions. Locals gather. Cameras are present. The conservator announces intentions to modernize the menu and extend hours. Critics accuse mass marketing. Donna's, Logan's, and other neighborhood voices gather for the showdown. Meanwhile, Bill meets secretly with the conservator's board and proposes a buyout of I.L. Giardino to a corporate partner who will safeguard the name in exchange for marketing rights. Bill has a clever plan. He will retain the restaurant's soul while monetizing its worth through a franchise. Sheila pushes for that transaction, but not to keep I.L. Giardino for Deacon. She wants access, control, in a role that will bind her to a place she believes she deserves by right of sacrifice. Deacon, desperate, does something shocking. He organizes a sit-in at the restaurant with a few devoted employees and regulars. The visuals of the sit-in, Deacon in an apron, workers dishing out warm bread to supporters, elicit public compassion. The municipal council is examining petitions, and a threatened petition to withdraw conservator status has reached the council's desk. The judicial battle is nasty and public, which is exactly what Sheila, who thrives on attention, and Deacon, who now must plead, both fear and require. Betrayal revealed, alliance broken. A great soap reveal changes the tide. Taylor's investigator discovers emails between the conservator and the vendor indicating that the conservator had been urged by a third party weeks ago. The emails include a forwarded note from an address that, when traced, leads to someone close to Sheila. The chain is not perfect, but it raises a significant question. Did Sheila plan the conservatorship, or was she a pawn in someone else's scheme? Taylor meets Sheila in a secret back booth at Il Giardino. The exchange is cinematic. Taylor requests a plain truth. Sheila's mask falters. She acknowledges she spoke with a friend who could assist, but says she never requested them to take the restaurant. Her hands shake. She says, "I didn't want to take it. I wanted to save it." The ambiguity irritates people. The truth is somewhere between dishonesty and dedication. Deacon reads the emails at home and concludes, half in shock and half in anger, that he's had enough of being the wounded party. He plans to file a lawsuit. The episode concludes with him signing retainer documents and promising that he will make the conservator pay, and that he will reveal who pulled the strings. The camera switches to Sheila's face as she stares at the same documents. The spark of survival war hardening her eyes in a manner that the viewer hasn't seen in a while. The courtroom, the compromise, and the classic cliffhanger. The legal showdown is the week's highlight. Courtroom scenes are fertile soap territory. Testimonies, unexpected cross-examinations, and character witnesses who either humanize or damn. Taylor gathers community witnesses to testify about how Il Giardino feeds causes, shelters neighborhood kids, and serves as a historical site. Deacon testifies passionately, expressing his relationship with the business and how losing it would imply losing his identity. The conservator's lawyer responds with technicalities and dreary language. Then an unexpected witness appears. The investor who first introduced the conservator and has quietly switched sides after observing Deacon's sit-in. He acknowledges that he was pressed to file a conservatorship request through confusing methods, and that the pressure came from someone who used a burner number linked back to an address associated with Sheila's friend. The courtroom gasps, and Sheila's attorney appears worried. For a brief moment, it appeared that the conservatorship might be revoked. But soap operas enjoy difficulties. A previously undisclosed wrinkle emerges. The conservator submitted a notarized statement asserting Deacon's managerial carelessness in a different case. A modest, old compliance mistake that would legally warrant conservatorship, even if the pressure was unlawful. The judge postpones the lawsuit, orders forensic accounting, and informs all parties that a temporary injunction will remain in effect to protect employees. Deacon, still not totally vindicated, walks out to fans and promises to fight. Sheila waits outside and watches him, shame and defiance etched on her face. The final image is a cliffhanger. At closing time, the Il Giardino sign is darkened and a mass delivery van arrives. The camera turns to a close-up of the van's driver removing a box and transferring it to an unknown hand, then to Sheila's purse, where a burner phone buzzes with a text message, "Confirm pickup." The screen goes black.